resistance.
Good morning, everyone. This is the Worldwide Resistance Network, and welcome to the Political Roundtable. I, of course, am your host, Christopher Sheldon, the Tin Man, the White Rabbit, taking you down that damn rabbit hole once again. And we will be joined by Reverend Ordo here momentarily. He's still getting ready. He had some technical issues on his end, but he will be joining us momentarily. But yes, this is the Roundtable, the one and only political podcast. One of the only, if not the only, political podcast that you will find out there that includes you in the conversation. So if you have any thoughts, opinions, or whatnot, feel free to join in the conversation in the comment section and become a part of the show and the broadcast. Most people, most podcasters, most radio hosts out there will only throw out a hotline number and take a few calls. Not have as many people as we want. As many people who want to join can join and share their thoughts, opinions, trolls, information, whatever. I don't give a fuck. So, with that being said, feel free to join in the conversation. Also, check out our online store. Tons of amazing merchandise there. We'll show you a little more of that down the line here, but check out our online store at what is it? At REALTWWRN.printify.me. Sorry about that. A little wrinkle right there. And if that's not your cup of tea, that's fine. It costs nothing to share the live feeds, share the retransmissions, and costs nothing to hit the like button and subscribe buttons and fuck up YouTube's notifications by hitting that notification bell. Be notified anytime we go live. So feel free, fuck up YouTube's algorithm. And with that being said, as always, you are the resistance. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Revan is here. And boom, welcome, Revan. How are you doing, buddy?
Hey, good, man. Good. Get a cup of coffee and got my morning brew. Some good news in the case against the legendary Afro man. If you remember back in the early 2000s with the nostalgic song "Until I Got High."
Yes.
He won his. He was acquitted, and yet, yes, he did countersue the local sheriff department, and he did win.
Yeah, that was a real big thing. He's been going on with that for a few years, actually. His house got raided while he was on tour with Snoop Dogg, I believe it was.
Yeah,
and
in town, he was doing a show with Snoop Dogg and a couple of other legendary rappers and hip hoppers, and
his house got raided while he wasn't home.
Yeah, they now the thing was how they put it was they had a CI saying that there was a kidnapping.
Yeah,
like really?
But yet there was no warrant or anything issued.
There's no warrant. There was no warrant at all whatsoever. It was all bullshit. And so
the person who made the report, has there been any backlash from that person for filing a false police report?
I don't think so. I don't know. But now the thing is, they broke down his gate, but then his door, and one of them, a fat one,
tried to eat the pound cake.
I was in the kitchen and he goes, "Oh, pound cake."
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, look,
The jokes don't write. The jokes practically write themselves.
Exactly. Now,
and Afro Man capitalized on it like a motherfucker. And got sued for it.
Yeah. He got sued for it. But the thing is, as a deputy or an officer, you have no expectation of privacy. Okay.
Nope.
What's that? You work for the city. Okay. You work for the people. Just like the military work for us. I mean, just like the military does for us, man. You know?
Yeah.
The thing is, when you do a raid, make sure you have an actual warrant with you, but also double, triple check the address and shit. The thing is, don't lie about having a CI because we all know that cops do it all the fucking time.
It could have also been somebody swatted his ass too, because SWAT doesn't necessarily need a warrant to respond. I mean, if there's a murder or something, I mean, we hear about it with Alex Jones and others all the time, getting swatted on a regular basis. I mean, it's happened to Jones so much that the cops just roll by and he's like, let me guess, somebody called in again? And the cop goes, yeah. So it stands to reason, somebody as famous as Afro Man could have been swatted as well. I mean, I'm not saying definitively, but it is a very strong possibility.
Oh, yeah. The thing is, they went through everything. His CDs, his clothes, why they found the $5,000. And they went through his safe. Like, dude, they went through everything. And no warrant. Still.
Yeah.
And they cried, dude, again,
invasion of privacy in somebody else's house. That in turn went and published.
Yeah.
And made public the video feed.
The thing is,
and a music video.
Oh, yeah. If you're in someone's house and you're a member of law enforcement, don't cry, don't bitch, don't whine about having their privacy invaded. You're in someone else's house, asshole. Okay? So if you're going to cry, bitch, and moan like a
bitch,
a bitch on PMS and shit, go fuck yourself and get a better job, man. Because I mean, we all know the badge is just all, it's a ego
sense of authority.
Yeah, it's an ego amplifier. It amplifies the ego, the arrogance, and the idiocracy of law enforcement.
Yeah, again, it goes back to the same argument that we have about our government officials. It's they are public servants. They are not figures of authority. They are in a public service. Same as government, same as fire department, same as your trash truck drivers. Okay, you have a designated level of authority in a particular situation, but there's a fine line between exercising justifiable authority for the well-being of the citizens and an abuse of power.
Exactly.
And, going into somebody's house, taking $5,000, eating their food, destroying their property. I mean, that is a blatant abuse of power. I mean, yeah, they broke down his gate and broke down his door. That's going to be kind of a collateral damage thing in terms of the raid because because the police did receive a report of kidnapping. But everything else they did after the fact, breaking things in his house, stealing the money, eating his pound cake.
Pound cake.
Yeah. That's way, way beyond the Call of Duty.
And the reason why they sent him was he made a video about what happened, his house. And he made a video about it.
Artistic expression.
Yeah, artistic impression. It's fucking funny, dude.
Expression.
Yeah.
Yes.
Freedom of speech.
Yes, sir.
And he made a song about it. Even his song called Lemon Pound Cake. Because he needed to raise the money for not just for his lawyer, but also his house
repair costs of the house.
Yeah.
I mean, replacing CDs in a time that CDs aren't readily available, that can get expensive. Replacing a gate and a door. I mean, you gotta gut out the entire framework there in often cases. For the door, there's a lot of work that needs to be done there, and labor isn't cheap. And
it's not.
No disrespect to Afro Man, but I don't think he's really a contractor.
No.
So, I mean, there's going to be things that need to be repaired there that, just going down to Home Depot and buying a new door just isn't going to cut it.
Yeah. When life gives you lemons, you make lemon pound cake.
And on that note, we got a few other stories here. There's quite a few things developing in the world right now. Before we really jump into our main story here.
Exactly.
Comey subpoenaed an alleged grand conspiracy against Trump. So basically, James Comey is finally getting subpoenaed and questioned about the grand conspiracy to interfere with the election process and trying to get Trump pretty much fucked over in the previous election.
Yeah, I read that yesterday.
Yeah, and we got some more stuff. U.S. territory turned tropical maternity ward has produced thousands of American babies for parents living in China. So basically, because of what Obama did, he made this territory, I think it was in Taiwan or somewhere. It was one of those islands. Made it essentially a U.S. territory. And Chinese women are going there, having their babies, and so that their babies have dual citizenship. So that's interesting that that's actually being brought up as well.
Yesterday, Chuck Norris died yesterday.
Yeah, he did. He's been getting memed quite a bit. Death doesn't knock on Chuck Norris's door. Chuck Norris knocks on death's door, which really did come as kind of a surprise, considering, he was kind of a badass of health. Like I saw not more than a few months ago a video of him working out on his farm. And I mean, dude was a fucking beast up until the end. I mean, it did come as kind of a surprise to me.
Yeah.
But he is definitely one of the few remaining American badasses that was in the public eye. The true manly man, American man model that we had grown up. Chuck Norris,
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood, Kevin Sorbo, to a lesser extent, Stallone, Schwarzenegger. I mean, these were the ideal men that most boys growing up in that generation idolized. So it is kind of a hit to American masculinity to a point there. Also, Chicago criminal with 30 priors threatens to kill whites with hammer on a train. And again, outside of this, you got some of the last beacons of true, genuine male masculinity dying, and then you see stuff like that. And then check this shit out. Like, this was kind of tripping me out. Myocarditis found only in COVID-vaxxed kids, studies show. A study of over 7 million children has revealed that only children and adolescents given the COVID-19 shot were those who developed inflammation in their hearts. The observation study looked at obesity's, adolescents, aged 12 to 15 years and children aged 5 to 11 years old. That's fucking wild. I mean, we've been saying it for a long time that that shot was no good. That they rushed that shit out too fast. They had it all ready to go prior to the fact, and it was dangerous. Weakens the immune system, and now you see myocarditis in children. That's fucking bullshit. I mean, I don't know how Fauci and Gates continue to get away with this bullshit. I mean, you have a virus that breaks out in China, and in the area that it broke out, you have a biological weapons lab that has had a shit ton of problems, especially in terms of leaks and containment issues. And then you have a food market down the street. Who are you going to fucking blame? Oh, we're going to blame the food market. Give me a fucking break. Especially after the virus was moved from the United States to the laboratory in Wuhan, China, by none other than Bill Gates himself. So, seriously, how these people have not faced any sort of criminal prosecution is a clear demonstration of corruption within the administration and our government as a whole. And it's not just in the United States. You know, Slovenia. So, how do you put that? Slovenia urges EU to probe reports that Israel spies meddled in election race, and that's by Politico. Again, why is it every time we turn around, the Jewish people are always at the forefront? Seriously, let's just say it. Jews. And Zero has popped in. Chuck Norris passed away. I sent Reverend what I found. Cool deal. But yeah.
Here's one. Cuba refused to let U.S. Embassy in Havana import diesel for its generators.
Yeah, we're going to be getting to that in a moment. But I want to touch a little more on another thing that's happening. You got the COVID information that came out, but it also came out recently that, you know, unclassified documents now show that they've known the cure for cancer since the 60s. Check this shit out, dude.
Yeah.
This is one of Jones's little commercials, but he talks about what happened.
All right.
Oh, this is another video. That's something I want to get to later. No, I don't want that file. What's this the file? This is the file I want. Sorry, I hit the wrong file. I do talk about professionalism, and here I am dropping the ball.
Damn.
Ed Evans.
So, CIA declassified documents last week. Operation Artichoke to poison vaccines, food supply, and the water to dumb us down to make us controllable. Now new documents about ESP control, how we're really electrochemical systems, liquid crystals, and the pineal gland, and how most people have microscopic to actual large worm infestations. Comes from cats, you name it, like Kennedy has one in his brain, and they didn't tell the public most cancer, breast cancer, brain cancer is worms. Now, this is all over the place. Joe Rogan talks about it, I have for years. But here it is. Scientists and doctors figuring out now, the CIA knew in 62 that dewormers could reverse most cancers and didn't tell the public. That's mass murder. Here it is.
Why parasite medications work against cancer cells. And it turns out that the parasites use mitochondrial substrate level phosphorylation in the tissue. And bendazole, fenbendazole kill these parasites. So I tried it on the cancer cell, and sure as hell, it targets the mitochondrial substrate and glycolysis. So we have a mechanism now why parasite medications are working. But cancer is not a parasite. All these people say, oh, cancer is a parasite. It's not a parasite. Parasites and tumors use a common metabolic pathway, and a drug that works against parasites can be very effective against cancer. And that's what we begin to see, especially under nutritional ketosis.
So to be clear, the anti-parasite drugs cut off the same mechanism in cancer, but we now know and have known that a lot of cancers from parasites, it's double good. And I don't sell that, but you can buy it online. And my medical doctor told me years ago, take this once a year as a regimen. I do. That's important information you might want to write down, folks, okay? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you can look it up. Go to the UN's own website. They admit it. Over 2 million people have cognitive disabilities because they do not have enough iodine. In the 20s, they found this. That's where put in the salt. IQs went up about 20 points on average, 15, 20 points. Well, we have the very best atomic iodine in the world. Has been available in several years, ladies and
Yeah. Fairly interesting. They've known since the 1960s that dewormers combat cancer. But yet, how many billions has the Cancer Research Institute and its subsidiaries taken in over the decades? Throughout the entirety of our lifetimes, we have heard, donate to fight cancer, fight this cancer, fight breast cancer, fight this, that, or the other cancer. You know, race for the cure, race for the cure. And they've known since the 1960s that dewormers
Exactly.
can be used to combat cancer.
You can even eat a big bowl of broccoli and cabbage, man. Those are also cancer killers too.
Yeah. But yet this information has been out there since they've known this since the 60s. 80 fucking years. 80 plus fucking years. They have known that there was a cure for cancer. And the Cancer Research Institutes have taken in billions under the guise of race for the cure. I'm 42 fucking years old. I've been hearing that bullshit my entire life, and now it's recently come out that they've known since the 60s? Since before my mother was born? What?
Dr. Sebi knew the cure, and they killed him for it, dude.
Yeah. And at what point are we going to start seeing lawsuits against the federal government and also these cancer research institutes, especially the Cancer Research Institutes, for quite possibly suppressing the truth and essentially stealing money? I mean, I can't say definitively that these research institutes knew and were deliberately scamming people, but it definitely is worth looking into at this point, given that these documents have come out. I'm not making any allegations against the Cancer Research Institute, but if the government has known this since the 60s, it begs to ask the question, who all knew?
Yeah.
And there needs to be an investigation and subsequent legal proceedings and consequences for anybody who did know and suppress this information in order for malicious or financial gain. And the government in particular, this is long-term genocide. This is long-term genocide. How many people have died of cancer just in the past 2 centuries alone? Just in our lifetime, we have seen children getting cancer and having to be treated for cancer, where just a few decades prior, cancer in children was unheard of.
Yeah. It's like I came across a report here. Was it 2 days ago that marijuana does not help with anxiety?
Bullshit.
Time out. Look. Whoever wrote that report, you gotta be the stupidest motherfucker alive, man.
Dude, I remember, sorry to cut you off. I remember back in high school, this just kind of goes along with what you were just saying. I remember back in high school, they brought people in, these so-called experts, and were telling us that marijuana causes cancer.
It don't.
And then you find out just a decade later that it actually helps to put cancer in remission.
Go back to the 30s when they was it 36 when they showed Reefer Madness.
Yeah, apparently, smoking marijuana, the pretext to make it an illegal substance. They needed, the Food and Drug Administration was facing losing their funding if they didn't put another drug on the books. So they put marijuana on the books and said that it was reefer madness, which caught, I'm not sure if this is the same thing as reefer madness, but one of the key arguments was that it triggered the desire for interracial relationships.
Look, we all know it's all bullshit. Because the thing is, smoking plant. Look, marijuana is a plant, right? It's a plant. Okay. Weed. I mean, that goes in your yard. Also has a medicinal use as well. Now the thing is, marijuana pot. The devil's lettuce. It helps with anxiety. Okay, I smoked before.
I don't think I know anybody who hasn't smoked marijuana.
I smoked it years ago when I couldn't sleep.
It helps with sleep. It boosts the appetite, and it also helps put cancer in remission. It eases stress and anxiety. It's a great anxiety medication in lieu of SSRIs. And you're talking about, this is stuff that can grow in your backyard just naturally. And it's not just that. Look at things like dandelion. Okay, everybody sits there and calls it a weed. But the roots actually have medicinal benefits. It can be used as a supplement and medicinal benefits. Look it up. Like, I busted out my herbal remedies books a few times. You go through books like that, it'll show you. It's like, oh, dandelion does this, this, and this for you. Look up dandelion root. Just one of many examples. I mean, and this is why I don't really care for the King James Bible, and I'm more of an advocate for the Geneva Bible or the the Ethiopian Bible, because you have so much stuff that was taken out, and Christians sit there and argue against the Mormons. Their biggest argument against the Mormons is that passage of Revelation: "Thou shalt not add or take away from this book." And then I sit there and bust out the Apocrypha. It's like, okay, explain this. Okay, you explain to me why the Bible says that God put all these things on earth for our benefit, but then we don't have a list of anything that helps with health. We had people that allegedly lived for 1,000+ years, and now the average lifespan is 80 to 110. Okay? How? We're supposed to be the most advanced, and especially in terms of medicine, in all of human history, yet people who lived thousands of years ago allegedly lived to several hundred years ago, lived to be close to 1,000. And at which point, the Bible references, oh, God put all these things on earth for you, but we don't know what any of these things are. Where is this information? Okay, where is the information that says that asking you shall receive, knocking it shall be open? That God will bless you if you ask, but doesn't tell you how to ask. It's like, and people say, oh, well, you just pray. Now, there's always been a methodology and a process in the Bible. If you look throughout the Bible, whether Old Testament or New Testament, in fact, I'm going to do a fucking video on this on Wednesday on Tin Man TV. I'm going to just go do a breakdown of this and explore the contrasts of Christian science of the Bible and the processes and what the Bible talks about, or at least proposes, in contrast to things like witchcraft, spiritualism, and so forth. I'm going to go do a deep dive into that, and why they want you kind of leaning towards the satanic witchcraft and spiritualism rather than to God. They suppress that information, but just to give you a little bit of insight here, they suppress the information in the Bible so that you will go to these other methods. Okay, the Bible gives you the instruction. The original Bibles, the original scriptures give you the instructions on how to control your life, and now everybody lives in this world where they feel that their life is out of control, and their spiritual teachers go, well, God's way is a mystery. God's will be done over thy will be done. When the Bible said that it gave you the instruction, that God gave you the instructions for a long, healthy life, longevity, and to control your life, but yeah, we don't have the details. It's like, okay, here it is, blank, blank, blank. Okay, like again, there's processes in the Bible. People say, oh, you just pray about it. Okay, what about the supplements that they reference? Oh, God put all these things on the earth for your benefit. Okay, what things? Oh, ask the Father for what you want, and He'll give it to you. How? And people say, oh, just pray. No, there's always been a process. Old Testament, New Testament, all the way from beginning to end, Genesis to Revelations, there's always been processes. Okay? And it's like, and the way scriptures are written nowadays is that it's like if I went back 30 years into the past and somebody's phone was broken and I said, here, use my phone. And they're looking like, what the hell is this? I'm like, that's a phone. How do you use it? And I just walk away.
Yeah.
But I'll get more into that on Wednesday. Reverend said, hey, man, I got to the point where I just chose a side in a war older than creation. Yeah. And on that note, Zero, thank you. Moving forward, as you stated, Reverend, and and I talked about this on Wednesday, there's been a major Charlie Kirk bombshell in regards to the Joe Kent thing. Joe Kent confirms the FBI blocked an investigation into foreign involvement in the Charlie Kirk assassination. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the Alex Jones article that he posted from his house and show you guys that, because this is fucking nuts.
Back in September of last year, 1 week after Charlie Kirk was killed, I broke exclusively on air from inside White House sources. It was a cabinet meeting with Tulsi Gabbard, Kent, the vice president, the president, and others. And that Cash Patel was there, blew up and said, I don't want you involved in intel domestically. I got it from high-level White House sources, and I confirmed with others that were there, that they said, we don't want accomplices. We're going with the lone gunman. We're going with this story and that.
Charlie Kirk was shot at 12:23 p.m. on September 10th.
Cash Patel went in there and screamed at Tulsi Gabbard, the vice president was there, and said, you're trying to investigate foreign involvement in Charlie Kirk's killing. We're not looking at any of it.
Less than a day later, the FBI at my direction released the first set of images of the suspect that we captured based on our analysis on the ground.
What do you mean when you say we're not allowed to ask any questions about that?
We've been told that this individual, Robinson, is a lone gunman, and maybe he is. But the investigation that I was a part of, the National Counterterrorism Center was a part of, we were stopped from continuing to investigate.
I had White House sources saying Cash Patel had a meeting and said, don't look at domestic help, which we knew he had. They were all bragging about it. Look at tomorrow and said, see, we told you, and foreign connections. So we have been looking at this from the very beginning. I told you back in September.
Less than a day later.
From the very beginning. Back in September.
We were stopped from continuing to investigate.
Less than a day later.
I told you.
Stopped from continuing to investigate.
The very beginning.
Charlie Kirk was shot.
I told you.
Stopped from continuing to investigate.
InfoWars. Tomorrow's news today.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean that's bombshell information right there. And check this article out as well. Major breaking. Trump's former top counterterrorism chief just admitted that Trump's team blocked him from properly investigating the Charlie Kirk assassination, especially regarding the possible involvement of foreign governments. And what he says should alarm every American. Joe Kent, the former director of National Counterterrorism Center, just went public with explosive allegations after resigning his post. According to Kent, his team began investigating possible foreign government connections to the 2025 assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, but then suddenly they were shut down. We were then told that, hey, you guys need to stop. You can't work on this anymore. Kent said, let that sink in. A federal counterterrorism team whose job is to investigate potential foreign threats says they were told to walk away from leads involving a political assassination. Kent says his office uncovered more work for us to do on the potential of a foreign nexus, and were blocked from doing that. The FBI will say they stopped because they wanted to turn everything over to the Utah state authorities. Kent said the case was then handed off to state authorities in Utah, with federal officials reportedly calling it a supposedly slam dunk case. But Kent says the story doesn't end there. He claims repeated requests for intelligence sharing and cooperation from other agencies were ignored, and that critical information simply continued to die on the vine. All the requests that we would make were just never met, Ken said. And it goes on and on from there.
This reminds me of the shooting in Las Vegas. Okay, now
Yeah.
the shooting in
Sorry,
Vegas.
wrong button.
The shooting in Vegas was 5 months before the shooting in Parkland, Florida. If you remember the Stephen Douglas High School shooting that killed that took 17 lives and shit.
Yeah.
Now, the Vegas shooting happened, but it was very, very short. Okay, let me explain to our viewers here.
Yeah, absolutely. Take point.
You had a guy allegedly, which I don't know. I mean, we tried looking into this even back then, about almost 9 years ago. Okay, that he brought multiple cases of guns and shit like that, all of them, which took
To the hotel.
And I mean, so much. The brother was interviewed twice, talked to the media twice. He got breaking news: the brother of the Las Vegas shooter was arrested for child pornography. Oh, wow. Really, dude? Oh, okay, look.
Yeah, that's always their go-to. Every time they need to shut somebody up about something, they hold up the child pornography card.
I mean, the thing is, he has a sheriff who's now governor of Nevada.
Right.
Who also had issues because he was also running a realty scam.
Yeah.
And his wife's son's dad was the head of it. But the thing is, 60 lives were lost, over 100 injured. Okay, was there any more investigation on it? No, because they had to next case. Why? Because I mean, Laura Loomer. Oh, I love Laura Loomer.
Calm down.
She
busted a nut all over the fucking camera.
She became a thorn in his side.
She did.
And by the sheriff was 2 FBI agents by his side. Okay. People after that were like, look, 8 to 10 people died mysteriously.
And it happens all the time. Either they get slapped with child pornography bullshit, or they wind up dead or just completely disappear.
Exactly. I mean,
you hear a lot of stuff about the UFO thing going on right now. You had a top general that was involved in a lot of that stuff that just up and disappeared. He allegedly took a walk in the woods and disappeared. Where his wife said that somebody, an outside contractor or something, came to fix something in their house. I forget the details.
Yeah.
But she went to the store, left her husband with the contractor, and when she got back, her husband and the contractor were gone, and key things that he wouldn't have left behind, like his glasses and other important things, were left behind.
Exactly. But the thing,
So we see that all the time. People disappearing, people being unalived. That dude who opposed the Clintons suicided himself in a park with 2 shotgun wounds to the back of the head.
Also, you had a guy, I think, was it Russia or Ukraine? He said, Ghislaine Maxwell was my soulmate. Come out.
I just gotta say it.
But what?
Yeah, he said that. and he was found dead. Now, this is the guy that was on the Epstein list. Oh, this is an exercise on my soulmate. Dude, look, that's like Porky Pig saying that Hillary Clinton's his soulmate. Dude, you're a fucking cartoon man. Yeah, exactly. It makes no fucking sense, man.
No. It's some sick twisted shit in this world, man. Especially when you look at the stuff in the Epstein files. I mean, you got, what is it, Tucker Carlson being investigated for contacting one of his contacts in Iran prior to these military strikes kicking off. And now he's under criminal investigation. Even though it was completely unrelated and all of that, he's being investigated, but yet we have lists of pedophiles who did what happened, and who did it.
Look, I'm going to say
and yet there's nothing. We get crickets, man.
Look, I'm going to say that again. Iran is not our enemy. Our enemies is on the Epstein list, okay?
Huh.
Who had more wars than Iran? We did. Why? Fucking Israel, man. Yeah. Every time we're involved in something, Israel was there too.
Yeah. And before anybody really fucking wants to jump our fucking shit about Israel, okay, let me point something out here. Okay, we are not anti-Semitic. Okay, we are not against the Jewish people or even the state of Israel. Okay, in fact, we are probably one of Israel and the Jewish people's biggest advocates. Okay? You don't support Epstein despite that he's Jewish. You fucking hate Epstein. You don't like George Soros even though he's Jewish because you know George Soros is a bad dude. You don't like the Rothschilds even though they're Jewish because you know they're bad people. Okay? You can still support the Jewish people. You can say, bless the Jewish people. I'm fine with that. Okay, bless the Jewish people. Bless Israel. But fuck those who are putting a bullseye on the backs of Israel and the Jewish people. People like the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, Soros, who worked for the Nazis and did atrocious things to his own people and said it was the best time of his fucking life. Okay? The Jeffrey Epsteins. And yes, Benjamin Netanyahu. BB shitting you. Okay, it's not anti-Semitic to sit there and say, okay, there's somebody in the Jewish community who is doing harm to the Jewish community. Okay, it's like that man, Achan, in the book of Joshua chapter 7, took the spoils of war. God was going to wipe out all of Israel because they didn't keep the promise, or namely, this guy didn't keep the promise, and therefore all of Israel was going to be punished. This guy took the spoils of war, and God was like, okay, Israel, I'm going to wipe your asses out. And Israel's like, whoa, what the fuck did we do? We didn't do nothing. You guys kept the spoils of war. No, we didn't. That guy has the spoils in his fucking house. And they go, okay, hold on, God. Don't wipe us out. We're going to go handle this asshole. And they did. Go read it. Joshua chapter 7. Achan. I'm not sure exactly how it's pronounced. It's Achan. Achan. Okay? Took the spoils of war after Israel took possession of the land after their exit, after their 40 years in the desert. And Achan nearly got the entire race of Israel wiped off the fucking map before they even got started as a nation. Okay? That's what I am here. I am the voice pointing out. It's like, hey, Achan's got the spoils in his fucking house. He's the one putting the bullseye on all our backs and got God pissed off at us. Okay? It's not the majority of the Jewish people. There's nothing wrong with the Jewish people. I've got nothing against the Jewish people. TWWRN has nothing against the Jewish people. In fact, we are probably the biggest advocates for the Jewish people. And for those who sit there and say Zionism is Judaism, no, it's not. And even the Jews are pointing this out. And don't believe me? Have a fucking look yourself.
The worst two.
Hold on.
You could play it.
We are standing here protesting nefesh b'nefesh while they are promoting for settlers to come and settle in Palestine on the heads of the Palestinians. We are here as Jewish people while the Zionists are screaming on us that it's a desecration of God's name to protest a synagogue. This is hypocrisy. It's a desecration of God's name to bring in Zionism, settler colonism in a synagogue. This is a desecration of God's name. We as Jewish people, true to God, true to our original here to say that this is totally wrong, taking a holy synagogue for this ugly Zionist crimes, for settling, for the rebellion against God. This is unacceptable. And every Jew needs to stand up to say this is wrong. We are here while in the recent weeks the world has been witness the settlers' violence across the West Bank, burning whole areas, burning cars and property of the Palestinian people. The whole world has come out to condemn this violence, these crimes. We as Jewish people are here to say that this has to be stopped. The whole occupation of Zionism needs to be stopped. This is not what Judaism is. Judaism is a religion to save God. Zionism is a political movement. And this is the root cause of all the bloodshed for the past 77 years. We are here to stand up and say that this has to be stopped, especially in a synagogue. This is totally wrong. Thank you very much. We are standing.
There's even a potential civil war in Israel.
Yeah, because the Jewish people know. They know that Benjamin Netanyahu is the Achan of their time. They know that the Rothschilds are the Achan of their time. Soros, Epstein, and so on. Okay, these are bad dudes, and they're putting a spotlight on Israel, putting a bullseye on the backs of the Jewish people. And I will sit there and say that I am probably one of the biggest advocates of the Jewish people, because what happened in World War II? A handful of Jewish people, even Henry Ford pointed it out, if you locked away the 100 of the richest Jews, there'd be world peace. Henry Ford, the guy who invented the automobile, said it. Walt Disney was allegedly anti-Semitic. And then you have what happened in Germany. You got to, even in the old Americas, they were relatively opposed to the Jewish people and Jewish people coming to the Americas. Why? Because of the things that they were notorious for doing. Bad lending practices, circumventing media. That was one of the things that Hitler had a problem with, was incorporating LGBTQ stuff into the media of his time. And bad lending practices and what is it that gets attached to a loan? Fucking interest. High interest rates nearly bankrupted Germany. Now, much the same as it happens now. And Hitler, he started off good. He kicked these people out of the media. He kicked the banks out. He put a stop to the bad lending practices and did quite a few other things that really helped out the German economy. But then he really just went off the rails and went far left and just went completely apeshit, scorched earth. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. We need to fix the problems, but not go scorched earth. We need to address the issues before another Adolf Hitler rises up and everybody in the whole world is just like, okay, kill them all, let God sort them out. I don't want that. I don't want to see that happen to the Jewish people again. Okay, you read about the Holocaust, and you got people who would sit there and say that it wasn't 6 million Jews that were killed. You can sit there and argue this or that about the Auschwitz facility, whatever. I don't care. People died. World War II happened. I don't want it to happen again.
Exactly.
Okay? I don't want the Jewish people being labeled as bad people because a handful of assholes want to be assholes and not let the rest of the world live in peace. Okay, you got a handful of genocidal maniacs hiding behind Judaism who are making things hard for not only everybody in the world, but also for the Jewish people. And that is what I fight against. I am not against the Jewish people. I am not against the state of Israel existing. Just get a good government in there and just live and let live. Love thy neighbor like unto thyself. It's one of your commandments.
We also got scoop on Cuba here, and
yeah.
It's really,
Oh,
Cuba,
sorry, Reverend. I didn't even know I was just me on there. Sorry, buddy.
Right after the whole Batista removal, Fidel Castro became leader. He was leader from '59 until his passing. His brother Raul took over as president for a while until he had to sit down for health reasons and stuff. And Trump wants to take Cuba.
Yeah, he wants to overthrow communist Cuba and has said, I'm president, I'll do what I want. You know, that kind of sounds like George Bush Jr. I'm the decider.
Now, Cuba, the thing is, Cuba and Russia have been allies for years and years and years. And Trump's saying Cuba will not be allowed to receive Russian oil. Look,
it's not really his call.
If Cuba wants to receive oil from Russia or whatever, that's their right internationally.
Yeah.
You see, our government has become a little bit too big for its fucking fat britches and shit, you know. Look.
Agreed. I agree wholeheartedly.
Now, this pertains to the bases. Get rid of them. We don't need you to remove them.
Yeah, we don't need to be in everybody else's fucking shit.
Now, Cuba, for years before Castro, was a place where you could travel and visit, enjoy yourself, whatever. But because of that, you had the mafia went to Cuba. If you remember the Godfather Part 2,
yeah,
the storyline took place before the revolution happened. Now, Batista couldn't handle it. He was forced out. Castro became president. Well, for life, of course, until he died.
Yeah.
The United States tried everything to remove this guy. Even tried to remove him in a video game called Call of Duty Black Ops.
Yeah, I remember that.
Even that was funny. He said, they tried to kill me for years, and they failed to do it in a video game.
Yeah.
That was laughable.
Quite a can of worms there.
That was funny. Like, no, you killed it. No, you killed a body double. Come on, man. Every leader has a body double. Come on, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
I'm trying to find something important.
Because
here.
they know that there could be more attempts on his life. I mean, Hitler had a body double, so did Mao, Castro had it, because he was Saddam. He had body doubles,
yeah.
Because they weren't stupid, and it was fun because, like, every world leader knew that our government was stupid, full of
corrupt.
dumb, rich, corrupt cocksuckers, What the fuck, So now we have here, what's over here? Cuba. No. Let's see here. Okay. Cuba refuses negotiation. Cuba refuses to go negotiate presidential terms in talks with the United States. Cuba refuses to let the U.S. Embassy in Havana import diesel for its generators.
Yeah.
Cuban officials report an island-wide blackout as country struggles with energy crisis. Cuba released 51 people from prison in an unexpected move. Trump says regime change in Cuba is questioned in time after Iran. Look. I'm going to say this. Fuck you, Donald Trump. Fuck you, orange man, lip, dick, fat ass, piece of shit.
Here's the thing.
This is ego. This is ego. This is like, we're going to do a regime change in Greenland. No, fuck you, dude. Leave Greenland alone, dude. Look, leave Greenland alone. Greenland don't belong to us, okay? Don't say, oh, we're going to get Greenland for a strategic. No, you want Greenland because of the rare earth element in oil. The reason,
that's what it always is.
That's why they removed Maduro and put in this bitch who's a Nobel Prize winner, who's on a leash and was forced to basically obey due to violence,
Yeah.
And this is why they went after Iran, because Venezuela and Iran had an oil deal going. Why? Because to remove before they went at Iran, we need to remove Maduro. Why? Because of the oil. Why? Because Venezuela had the biggest oil reserve
on the Western Front.
Yeah. And the reason they went after Iran because baby shitting you, the fake Jew.
It's catching on.
Fake Jew, Mm-hmm. He's Israelis Hitler and shit.
Essentially, yeah. Getting his own people killed.
Who is half Polish, half dipshit. Okay?
For dipshits.
He wanted this war. Now he's saying, well, we're going to go after Iran, now Turkey. Why Turkey? Dude, what did that fucking bird do to you, man? What the fuck, man? What the hell, dude? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah, you don't really hear anything about Turkey.
Enough with this shit, man. Already, you got people in Israel saying, enough's enough, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you even have all these videos. You got 3 AI videos of fucking Netanyahu that look AI. He disappeared for a while. Everybody was thinking he was dead. And then the first video popped up. He allegedly had 6 fingers. A second video popped up of him in a coffee shop. Why are you going to be at a coffee shop during wartime, especially when you got a shit ton of fucking handlers that fucking handle shit for you? You're going to be at a coffee shop while your fucking country's getting blown up. No.
Exactly. Then you had a reporter showing the home of Bibi Netanyahu's destroyed. He's arrested.
Yeah.
There's a potential Israeli civil war happening here. Potential.
There is.
Why? Because, look, let's go back a few months, okay?
Go for it, dude. I'm looking for something.
The president of Pakistan gave the president of Israel a verbal nut shot.
More or less, yeah.
A verbal nut punch saying, dude, you're as guilty as Bibi Netanyahu, and you ain't doing shit about it. the president of Pakistan verbally bitch slapped the president of Israel. Like, dude, you and Netanyahu are serial killers of peace, man.
Yeah.
Just like our government is a serial killer of peace, man. They're like, we need to have peace and democracy. No, we are a constitutional republic, motherfucker. We are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. Benjamin Franklin explained the difference between democracy and republic, okay?
Yeah.
We don't have a parliament. We have a president. We have a presidential house. We have the Senate and Congress, right? Yeah. But we do not have a fucking parliament, okay? We're not a democracy, dude.
No. I got something I want to show you here. I'm not sure if you've seen this one. This is the latest BB Shitting You-Who video.
Okay.
And he's pretty much bashing Jesus Christ.
I saw that. I saw that. Do you like?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play. I'm gonna go ahead and play the whole thing here.
All right.
Like I don't understand why Christians would support this guy. I mean, again, this is a man this is an icon calling down God's wrath, essentially, and just going out of his way to try to make Israel and the Jewish people look bad.
Play it. We all know what happens to celebrities and people like that. They have mocked God and mocked Jesus. Dude, if you mock God or Jesus, dude, look, your career and your life is going to be in ruins, man. If you mock God, dude, you got to be the stupidest and dumbest motherfucker alive on the planet. Anybody, look, celebrities who mock God, their career went to shit. Now, here we got BB squatting shitting you-who. Mr. Turn in the punch bowl. Mr. Tupin and Putuba. Mock God. Okay? Mock Jesus.
Yep. We're going to go ahead and go to
what
that
happened
video.
to him?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. A BB shitting you-who, if you mock God, your ass
is grass.
Your ass would be like Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yep.
Okay?
God will not be mocked. God will not be mocked. and God is swift in terms of justice. We've seen it time and time again. Forget pissing off the people, man. You're going to be pissing off God. And we'll get back to that in a minute. But let's go ahead and jump to the segment.
Dude, play it, man. Play it.
I'm on
it. Show the world how stupid this guy fucking is, man.
Jesus Christ has no advantage over Genghis Khan. Because if you are strong enough, ruthless enough, powerful enough, evil will overcome good. Aggression will overcome moderation. So you have no choice.
Let's go to clip number 16 here. This is Benjamin Netanyahu, our greatest ally, who's totally alive, by the way. And okay, so yesterday he had a press conference where there wasn't actually any journalists there, but the video came out and it looks very real. Here's Benjamin Netanyahu sort of schooling us ignorant goy about how the world works. Let's watch.
Also wrote The Lessons of History, very brief, 100-page book, in which he said, well, history proves that, unfortunately and unhappily, Jesus Christ has no advantage over Genghis Khan. Because if you are strong enough, ruthless enough, powerful enough, evil will overcome good. Aggression will overcome moderation. So you have no choice. If you look at the world as it is today, you have to be blind not to see that the democracies led by the United States have to reassert their will to defend themselves and to oppose their enemies in time while there's still time, before the jarring gong of danger wakes them up and wakes them up too late. This is where we are now. The fact that people don't
So that's
see that.
Benjamin Netanyahu, being blasphemous, insulting Christ, basically saying that Jesus Christ has no advantage over Genghis Khan. Of course, this is historically illiterate. Who stopped the Golden Horde? Who stopped the Mongols? It was the Christians. It was the Prince Kings of the Kievan Rus that put a stop to them. So just wrong factually. Also, where's Genghis Khan now? Where's his empire? Oh, it completely dissolved into chaos and misery and infighting the moment he died because he built nothing, because evil can't build anything. It can only destroy, obviously. He quotes REALTWWRN, who wrote the Civilization series, which is absolutely fantastic. He may have been talking about an advantage Genghis Khan enjoys against Jesus Christ. Immediately in a fight to the death in terms of civilizational well-being, Genghis Khan is cancer and Jesus Christ is a big healthy meal. Okay, so again, just on the face of it, it's like you have to recognize that is the mindset of Benjamin Netanyahu. In a way, he's right, not in the way that he intends. In a way, he is correct. It is our softness. It is that we have allowed ourselves to be fooled into believing that Christianity and Jesus Christ represents rolling over and allowing yourself to be taken advantage of. That was never the case before about 70 years ago, okay? That was never the worldview or the mindset of Christian kingdoms that had no issue about defending itself ruthlessly, because you have to, because Christianity creates really beautiful systems of like mutual cooperation and mutual benefit, mutual well-being and charity. And that's a really great thing. It's a really wonderful thing. Its key weakness is its vulnerability to bad actors like the Benjamin Netanyahus of the world, who will portray themselves as beneficent and charitable in order to insinuate themselves into our civilization while not believing anything and thinking that we're absolute suckers that deserve what we get because they don't even have to try to get it over on us. So when he says that, the West is falling because the democracies have, forgotten how to fit, they're right. He's right about that. We have let these people like Benjamin Netanyahu take us over. We need to have a more barbarous reaction to it. We do need to have a more savage reaction to it. We are in a life and death struggle with extremely evil enemies like Benjamin Netanyahu. We do have to take the gloves off. We do have to rip the Band-Aid off. We do have to re-exert some of the civilizational defenses that have been deliberately stripped away from us in the past from the Benjamin Netanyahus out there that are at this moment telling us that we have to submit to them or else what? Or else what? What are they going to do? Oh, nothing? Oh, it's only because we've chosen not to exert our power? And now here he is telling us that's the whole problem in the first place. That's why Israel can dog walk us, even though they're this small little insignificant genocidal state. It's time for us to stand up and reassert our power and crush these rats into the dirt like they deserve. God bless you all.
Yeah, I mean, you don't blaspheme God.
No.
Again, I got nothing against the Jewish people, but again, here you got Bibi Netanyahu, the Akan of his time, basically trying to call down God's wrath. It's like, dude, do you want God to shove a lightning bolt up your butt? Like, whoa, dude.
That's smart,
I said it
That's
on,
smart,
on
dude.
my last podcast. I said it on Tin Man TV. It's like an adulterous wife. Okay, Israel was the adulterous wife. They said God led them out of Egypt. Pretty much was their marriage, and the second that happened, they walked up and started kissing on some other dude right in front of them, worshiping the golden calf right in front of God. God was right up there on Mount Sinai. Look at him going, I can see you, right?
Yeah.
And they got in trouble for their idolatry. God was ready to wipe them out, just like a husband walking in on his wife getting railed in the marriage bed. Yeah, God was equally as pissed off. And it led up to the point that Christ came in as kind of the mediator, for a lack of a better term, and they killed him. So they were arrogant, prideful, idolatrous, And then they killed the Son of God, and God kicks him out and divorces him and embraces the Gentiles. Finds himself a new bride, for lack of a better term.
Exactly.
But yet, Christian Zionism is sitting there perpetuating the idea that the husband, that the adulterous, prideful wife is still the wife, not the ex-wife. And that the husband took her back after her adultery, took her back after she sent him a video of her getting gangbanged. Whoop, 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 whoop. What? Sorry, I can't buy into that. Like, as far as that theological push, I just got to give it to this.
This is 15 hours ago. Iran fires a ballistic missile at the Diego Garcia base.
Oh, so they're back to firing at bases now?
It says here, Iran fires ballistic missiles at Diego Garcia base.
Okay, that's kind of a good sign. And let me get into why. A few days ago, we had a big issue. And in fact, I'm going to bring it up here and we're going to show it and just give you the diagram of what was happening here. This was scary. This was world-ending shit here. Okay? No. Germany, UK, France, Italy, Netherlands, and Japan issued joint statement condemning Iran and expressed their readiness to contribute to appropriate efforts to ensure safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz. This has to do with this Armageddon scenario for gas makers as Qatar hit by missiles. Traders and analysis warn of latest disturbing disruption after damage to facility that supplies a fifth of the world's LNG. Okay, now, for those who do not understand what this is, what you're looking at here, let me break it down. This facility here, these things you're looking at that my mouse cursor is scrolling on, those are called trains, not choo-choo trains, generating trains. And what they do is they take the natural gas from the field in the Gulf and convert that, and that's where you get a fifth of the world's LNG. Now, there are 14 of these trains. Iran, in response to an attack from Israel, blew the shit out of 2 of these trains when they attacked this facility. Now, if all 14 of these trains go out, it's lights out for Western civilization. Okay, we are back in the Stone Age. Okay, no power, no ability to produce, no ability to ship, and it would take years to rebuild these things. I think they said it would take 3 years to rebuild one of these things. They don't have these things. They don't have the equipment ready for reserves any more than we have the backup systems and replacements for a power grid if one of the power grids gets hit. Okay, it's the same damn thing. It's lights out for Western civilization, back to the Stone Ages, and we're going to have a gay old time.
Exactly.
Okay.
I've been saying this for weeks now, that it's a blowback. You invade a country that never attacked you militarily.
Yeah, well, that and Qatar was not involved in this. It's just because they're military allies. And a lot of the problem is, a lot of these allies are going, okay, the Americans who we're allied with, they're not really acting in our best interest. They're putting a bullseye on our back. This war with Israel, the United States versus Iran, we're now getting sucked into this. So the allies are getting pissed. And a lot of these countries.
Italian Prime Minister announced that Italy's pulling out.
Yeah,
they're pulling out. They're leaving. They're no longer supporting the United States anymore.
Yeah, and a lot of these countries, China is pretty much can self-sustain itself. Russia, the same. They can handle their shit. But Europe and the United States, lights out. So a lot of these countries are going to have to align, especially in Europe, would have to align with Russia, and the Asian countries aligning with China, at which point that gives both of those countries a huge economic advantage over the Western world. And let's not forget, all of these countries are opposed. Russia and China are allies with Iran, who oppose Israel. Okay? It's bad news bears. So Trump threatened to basically obliterate the oil field in the Gulf, which Iran not only uses, but Qatar uses as well for this very facility. It's the same field. So if Trump blows up that fucking field in the Gulf, this is gone. This is done. This is dead in the water, and we're back to the Fred Flintstone days.
Not just that, but World War III.
It's not even going to be World War III because you don't have any resources to fight. Okay, if that system goes down, we're back in the Stone Ages. It's lights out for the United States and Western civilization. We get a lot of our power and whatever the fuck is called the LNG from this facility. Okay, that's a fifth of the world's LNG. Okay, it's lights out.
Exactly.
War at that point. At which point it's Russia and Ukraine shooting us shooting Israel and anybody else they want in the dark. And think of the Terminator. Think of it in terms of like the Terminator. Say a bunch of Terminators attack a facility, cut the power. The people can't see, but the Terminators can see, and they're just picking people off. That would be the type of scenario.
Iran just
they can see. Russia, China, they can see.
Iran just
the rest of the world, we're in the dark, including Israel.
Iran just executed 3 spies from Israel.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia arrested 3 Israeli spies for bombing.
Yeah.
This proves that it's not looking good for our guys as well as Israel. Now,
no, it's not.
Now, the thing is, you see people of Israel just going nuts, man.
Yeah.
Look, again, Netanyahu is a serial killer of peace. So is Donald Trump.
He is. And, you got people like Jones who will argue for Trump that he's just being fed bad information. But again, I have to ask, how many times do you have to be fed bad information by somebody before you go, okay, this person isn't credible. I can't trust them. Get them the hell away from me. Okay, it's got to be bigger than just being fed bad information. It's either blackmail or he's complacent in what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay, and I wouldn't put it past him because all other progressive candidates would probably stand against Israel. Trump, he in theory was probably compromised by Israel, either by the Epstein files or at the very least, because he's indebted to JP Morgan and the Rothschilds who bailed him out of all of his bankruptcies. So either they got him by the balls with that shit and he's got no choice, or he's a willing participant in just being a narcissistic ass.
Not just that, but Deutsche Bank too.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know what the situation is. All I can do is best guess. But at which point, I think this is one of those things to, because Trump wasn't about the destabilization plan, but I think they figured they could sucker him into a war with Iran more than they could Kamala Harris and the Democrats, because Obama took a firm stance. Biden's auto pen took a firm stance on that. It just wasn't happening for Israel. So they needed Trump to get in there. And at which point, it destroyed Trump's credibility, and the buck can be passed back to the Democrats in the midterms and possibly even the next presidential election, at which point the destabilization process of the United States can resume unhindered, and at which point the Israelis Benjamin Netanyahu's already got his war with Iran and the expansionist occupation there for Greater Israel and the Middle East, and you've got the resuming of the destabilization, Clowar and Piven, Great Reset here in the West. That's what I think is happening. And if Trump has any semblance of humanity in any capacity, he needs to wake the fuck up and be the man that his voters and everybody know he can be, and start being America, not just America first, but America only. He needs to be America only. He needs to be true populist and be the man that the people who voted for him know he can be. Everybody has the capacity for great good, including Donald Trump. And he is capable of great good if he wants to do it. But he needs to double down and smack the shit out of the people who's got his fucking balls in their hands and say, get your hands off my junk, and start pushing back.
Yeah.
Okay. We've seen Donald Trump push back in the past. He can do this. And if he does, he will be hailed as the greatest thing since sliced bread. Okay? People will see him as the greatest equivalent to a savior, second only to Jesus Christ himself. Okay? He will have that much clout with the American people, both Republican and Democrat. He would be hailed as a fucking hero if he told Israel to get fucked. Okay? So, message to Trump, bro. You want the clout? You want people to see you as a hero? This is what you got to do. You got to tell Israel to kick rocks. Okay? You don't got to make him an enemy. Just get him out of our shit. He's like, me here, me, meow, you, meow. Okay? What do you got?
Switzerland halts new arms exports to U.S. over Iran war.
Yeah, that's another good point, too. Israel said that they're getting depleted on their military munitions, at which point they would need more from us. But, you know, how many munitions can we supply them while also firing our own? I mean, you've only got so many resources, and yeah, you can have production ramped up for this, that, or the other in the States or in our allied countries. Okay, but you can only produce so much so fast, especially for two countries. What do you got?
On March 20th, 2026, the Swiss government said it will not issue licenses for weapons exports to the United States, citing neutrality amid Iran conflict with no licenses issued since February 28th. Under Swiss neutrality rules, exports to parties in a international armed conflict are prohibited, and since the escalation on February 28th, no new license has been issued for war material exports to the U.S. Burns said.
Yeah.
Temporary stopping of new exports, Burns said. Switzerland will halt shipments linked to a new U.S. arms and ammunition order while existing licenses judged irrelevant to the conflict can continue. Okay. With the United States taking about 10% of the Swiss arms shipments last year, with about 94.2 million francs, which is 100. Let me. With the U.S. taking about 10% of Swiss arm shipments last year, with about 94.2 million francs, which is about $119 million U.S. Swiss arms producers have missed orders and shifted production to avoid supply chain exclusions. Given past blocks on transfers to Ukraine, Burns' decision reflects legal precedent within an interdepartmental expert group set to regularly review exports, while December 2025 law change remains subject to a mid-April referendum.
$15, little man. Put that shit in my hand.
Yeah. So basically, they're telling the U.S., "Hey, dude, you're on your own. We ain't helping."
Yeah. It's pretty much that. I mean, again, this war in Iran is not a war at all. It's an invasion.
Well, you call it a war, you can call it an invasion, you call it a military strike. Call it whatever the fuck you want, just don't call me late for dinner. But the fact of the matter is, it's depleting resources. And you can only produce so many resources at a time. And resources cost money. The Pentagon already warned Trump that this would be bad militarily and economically to get involved in a conflict with Iran, especially on Israel's behalf. The smart thing would have been to step back and assess the situation and find a better, more practical solution to the problem, whether that be military or peaceful negotiations or whatever. You needed to step back. This wasn't something that required aggression and prompt response. It needed the Jedi philosophy. It's like, okay, our back's against the wall. We need to take a step back, sit down, and wait for an opportunity.
Here's what I'm seeing for the last number of years. Okay, every president has an advisor. Okay,
yeah,
even military advisors from the 5 branches. Okay, now here's what I'm seeing, and please bear with me here. Military leaders are saying, "Look, this isn't good militarily." Okay.
Yeah. And economically, economic experts told him, like, dude,
what advisors in suits does the president have? Most of them are lobbyists from corporations.
Corporations and lawyers. Like, he listened primarily to Lindsey Graham, who has no military experience. He's a lawyer, doesn't know jack shit about military or economics. Now, you have Pentagon officials who specialize in war and military tactics telling them, dude, militarily, this is a bad idea. You have the best financial experts in the world telling you this is going to derail the Trump recovery if you do this. But yet he listened to Lindsey Graham and Benjamin Netanyahu.
The reason why these suits are saying, do it, because there's money in it for them.
Yeah. They position themselves to be financial gainers of that.
Oh, yeah. Plus, you have generals in both the Army and Marines. You have lieutenants in both Air Force, Navy, saying, look, it's bad majorly.
Yeah, it's not just generals. It's
Everybody.
It's generals. It's top generals, 4 or 5-star generals.
Oh,
Going,
yeah.
dude, we've been around a long time. We've been doing this for years. This is bad juju. Even Obama knew it was bad juju. Don't do it. But he listened to Netanyahu, who has a vested interest in going to war, because otherwise he can be deposed and removed from power and face criminal prosecution for his war crimes. And then you have Lindsey Graham Cracker, who doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground, has no military experience, is just a freaking lawyer, going, yeah, let's go to war. It's a great idea. We're going to win. It's going to be, you'll be done in a week.
It's
blah, blah, blah.
It's mostly lawyers in Congress and the Senate.
Yeah. It's insane.
This is why we have more people in law school than in the courtroom. Why? Yeah. Because lawyers want to become politicians and want to become part of the cabal. Yeah. Why? Because they can use their knowledge to look. 1913, the Federal Reserve Act was not created by a politician.
No, it was created by a handful of globalists on Jekyll Island.
Bankers and lawyers, okay?
And those who opposed it conveniently went down with the Titanic. Now, you can ascribe to that conspiracy theory or not. Neither here nor there. Fact of the matter is, opposition was on the boat.
Exactly.
Boat went down.
Most of the policies that are on the table were most not done by a Democrat politician or a Republican politician. It's done by a corporate lobbyist, lawyers, and all that shit.
Yeah.
And it was given to politicians. Here. If you put this on the table, we'll put more money. We'll put billions in your campaign.
Yep. Or they'd benefit from a mutual business venture with that person. Now, that's not uncommon either. Exactly. There's a lot of variables. Plus, you got the blackmail variable. Do this or this comes out. This data cache comes out. And a lot of people want to say it's strictly blackmail, but there's a lot of variables that go in. Financial incentives, mutual benefit, even death threats. How many politicians get death threats on a regular basis? Like, okay, you do what I say, or something's going to happen to your family, or something's going to happen to this person or that person.
Exactly.
Or your Epstein file will come out, or this or that. I mean, there's a lot of variables that need to be addressed, and we need people in power who are brave enough to stand up and go, okay, I'm willing to die on this fucking hill. And that's what we thought Trump was. And perhaps he could still be. But he's got to be willing to push back and push these people off his balls. And at which point, if he does and he follows through with his Make America Great promise, he would be seen, and he pushes Israel out, he would be seen by the left and the right as the greatest thing since sliced bread. Okay, let's cater to the man's ego. Let's stroke his ego here. I have no problem stroking this man's ego. Dude, you will be, Trump, you will be the greatest thing since sliced bread. You will be hailed as the greatest savior, second only to Jesus Christ himself, if you push back and get Israel out and fulfill your Make America Great, Drain the Swamp promise. If you prosecuted all these motherfuckers in the Epstein files that were guilty of all these atrocities, if you pushed Israel out of having any influence in our government, our media, our financial institutions, and you just said, me here, You, yeah.
Well, the thing is,
dude, you'd be hailed as a god among men.
Exactly, but the thing is, I know I'm going into very dangerous waters here. Okay, right now. The thing is, what if, okay, that Trump is on that list?
What if my aunt had a dick? She'd be my uncle.
Now the thing is, if he's on the list and he does this shit, now this is a double-edged sword here, man. Okay.
Okay.
If he does that, if he exposes and prosecute people on the list, he's opening himself up to a straight up more attempts on his life.
Yeah, it's a possibility. It could be a possibility that even his family was threatened too. I mean, we don't know, but that's the caveat of doing what you do. He knew going into this that he would have a target on his back, that he was going to be contending with very powerful and dangerous people that were going to push back. And he knew what the stakes were. Now, whether he went in there as an accomplice to them or opposition that rolled over after the fact, I don't know. But if he is the man that we were led to believe he was, he needs to wake up and realize they ain't going to save his ass. He rolled over on the Epstein thing the first time around and they stabbed him in the back. They're going to do it again, no matter what it is.
This is equivalent of saying, oh, Garth Brooks was a serial killer.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, you're not safe with these people. Okay, they stabbed him in the back once with the Epstein thing the first time around when he rolled over for him. They're gonna do it again. They're gonna stab him in the back again, and they're going to destroy him and his family again, one way or another.
Exactly.
And he needs to understand that.
They're gonna do whatever it takes. But the thing is, look, people are already leaving the country as it is. Look,
yeah.
It don't matter where you go, your name is still on the fucking list, okay? It don't matter if you go to butt-fucked Egypt, man. Your name is still on the fucking list, man.
Yeah.
You may run, but your name is still on the list, man. Running away ain't going to remove your name off the fucking list, dude.
No, it's not. And if something was in the list that was damning, it probably would have come out during the last presidential elections, the last two presidential elections. But given it hasn't, it lends credence to suggest that there's not anything really credibly damning in there that could incriminate him, not like the other stuff we've seen. It's safe to say that he's most likely not involved in the pedophilia, human trafficking, cannibalism, Satan worship, all that. I could be wrong.
If he's good at covering his ass, I'm saying this hypothetically, if he's good at covering his ass legally, and they have nothing on him but just he was on. Dude, he's an outsider. That's an insider that knows people. Now, he knows shit because he has to get along with people. Okay, that's what politicians do, and business people alike.
Yeah,
that's how they know. That's how they get into the nonchalant cabal, thing,
Yeah. So, I mean, he could be compromised and he could have been complacent from the start, or he could have rolled over after the fact. But at the end of the day, if he wants to be he needs to understand that one, they're going to fucking stab him in the back regardless. Okay, so it's better to die on your feet than die on your knees. Okay, and at which point, if you push back, you have your chances of survival go way up. If you're willing to fight back and fight for your life rather than roll over and die, your chances of survival go up astronomically. And
Exactly.
like I said, if you push back and you do what you promised and you do what the American people have asked you to do and what we have talked about here, he'll be hailed as a god among men. Okay, he will be the equivalent of Hercules. Okay, he will be the greatest savior, second only to Jesus Christ.
This is equivalent, like several months ago, right? Okay. If Anonymous did the job, actually released the fucking Titanic size information here.
You're talking about the allegation, the things that Conspiracy Anon suggested that we found out weren't true.
Yeah. Now, if Anonymous did this and released a Titanic size shit here, yeah, dude, it would change the fucking world, man.
Yeah.
It would change the world in a very big way that it would scare the shit out of anybody from sports, news, whatever, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it would change not just social, but economic, global. Dude,
it would change the landscape as a whole.
Yeah. It would it would shift, like, dude. It may even scare the bigwigs, I mean, I know who it is. It would definitely scare the shit and shift.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, he needs to get out of Israel's back pocket and, start pushing America first. And again, it kind of goes back to the start, where Joe Kent was talking about how they were silenced on the investigation into the Charlie Kirk murder. And now Candace Owens, poor Candace, man, she gets so much fucking shit because she's willing to push back. And my heart goes out to her. I got nothing but love for Candace. And it's good to see her vindicated to a point that, she was right to push and say, hey, there's more to this Charlie Kirk thing than what's going on. And even now, she's getting so much flack, dude. Like, check this out. She gets so much shit, even from the religious community, who are probably getting paid buco bucks by Israel and AIPAC, who clearly don't give a shit about the American people. I mean, look at this. ADL. It's okay to be white. Hate symbol. Bombshell. ADL caught falsifying statistics to frame whites in America. But then, instead of defending her, white Christians target the poor woman. And look at this shit.
Anti-Semitism is just exploding in the church. The ignorance is exploding. Conservative voices, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Mark Dykes, they don't get it. They say God's done with Israel.
Some of you listen to Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, and these guys are anti-Semitic. I don't care what anyone says. I'm going to say it. They're anti-Semitic.
Maybe you're familiar with Candace Owens. Candace was someone 3-4 years ago I was so impressed by. Smart, articulate, generally, has a more conservative worldview. But she has gone off the rails. She is a full-blown anti-Semitic, Jew-hating person. And her theology is a part of that.
That's what actually Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, others are saying. We should not get involved with the conflicts in other nations, right? Well, number one, it's not that simple. Again, this is a regime that wants to wipe America off the face of the map, in addition to Israel.
Well, what is happening with Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens right now. Genesis does say, I will bless those who bless you, and I'm going to curse those who curse you.
I'm sorry, but we cannot just keep letting people get away with this. I'm talking about the Tucker Carlsons and the Candace Owens and everyone who screamed that World War III is coming the literal second that America or Israel acted against Iran.
If you're a Christian, please do not get your beliefs on Israel from Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens. Get your beliefs from the Bible.
Brothers and sisters in Christ, do not listen to people like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. At this point, cut them off. They have that same demonic spirit flowing through everything that they're saying.
I am speechless, man. The problem is that if people are listening to my podcast, they probably are not the kind of person that can be easily programmed. That's what I would say. You're not going to be able to just say stuff and expect them to just go, oh, okay. They're going to go, wait a minute. They're going to do their own research. They're going to come at me with facts if I'm missing something. Like, it's the wrong audience for that. It's so obvious what people are doing. It's so obvious. This has always been a psych game, that it's all about, can we create a psychosis if we keep saying 6 feet social distancing, 6 feet social distancing, save lives, wear a mask, save lives, wear a mask. Like, we get it. I'm about to make a video. What's the bounty? I'll do it right now. What happened to Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson? It says right here in the Bible that we'll be blessed if we go to war, and we have to go to war. What happened? It's just crazy that they don't want to send American troops to die. So what happened? What happened? What happened? Weird. Just wanted to share that with you. Just weird out there. Totally weird.
Look, I'm gonna say this. I don't care. I don't care who gets pissed off here. Look, the Bible doesn't say to send your military to Iran or another country to wage war.
No,
that's not what the Bible's talking about. You dumb bastards. Look, Ted Cruz, dude, you're Canadian, you cocksucker. Look.
It doesn't even affect him.
Look, your daddy may be Cuban, your mom may be a white cunt. I don't care. Born in Canada. I'm a Canadian Texan. Oh, I fuck a moose. Oh, dude, look. All these dumb cock sucking bastards. Look, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson. Look, we all know what the Bible states, man. We've read it from page to page all our lives, man. You know,
cover to cover.
All you dumb idiots out there, you're letting people divide you here and here. Okay, simple as that. Look, politically,
it's because they're based off they're basing these ideas off the Schofield Reference Bible. Not even the King James Bible. It's the Schofield Reference Bible. Okay, you're probably picking up the King James. These people aren't, whether non-denominational, Baptist, Methodist, Lutheran, Protestant, whatever. If they're propagating this shit, they're probably preaching from the Schofield Reference Bible, not even the King James. You're probably sitting there in the congregation with your KJV or your New American Standard, and they're referencing the Schofield Reference Bible. Sorry, I had to get that thought. Go for it.
I mean, look, Ted Cruz, look, the idiot doesn't understand. Look, the Bible doesn't say we have to support the Jews or Israel. No. Ted Cruz, you need a punch in the fucking nuts, man.
Yeah.
Lindsey Graham, you pansy candy ass cocksucker. I hope you get fucked by a bear, man, up the ass, dude. You know, and plus Eric Swalwell, I hope you get fucked up the ass by a fucking moose, man. Look,
jeez,
they have no clue.
And all I did was Lindsey Graham crackers.
Nice man. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
I mean, the great merch from the TJ Grant store.
Yeah. I'll get
Toad
that.
Blanche. Toad Blanche.
I mean, look, We don't know. We read the Bible our whole lives, man. Exactly, man.
Yep.
It doesn't say that we have to support the Jews or Israel. Look, I support the people, the Jewish people, but not the ones who are hiding behind as fake Jews. Look, most of Israel were created by people who are are Eastern European, hiding behind a fake Jewish name. Look, exactly, man. And the thing is, I'm on the side of the living, man.
Yes, absolutely. Keep talking.
Put down the choking Bible and actually read the real Bible, man. Open up.
Yeah, pick up a copy of any Bible that might still exist, from the 1700s. I think that your Geneva Bibles, most Geneva Bibles have remained relatively intact since their creation.
Yeah.
That was pretty much the original Bible prior to the King James. That's because Martin Luther, who was a Catholic priest, left Catholicism, formed the Protestant movement, and that's where your original Bible came from. And then the pagan nut job King James, who was very much a Satanist and a pagan, was very much into the occult, commissioned his version of the Bible, which is, interestingly enough, the standard for Judeo-Christian theology, apart from the Schofield Reference Bible. So I would suggest, maybe a copy of the Geneva Bible in conjunction with the Apocrypha, or the Ethiopian Bible. The Ethiopian Bible. That was untouched by the Council of Nicaea and King James. Okay, that has survived the test of time. That's about as close to original Christianity as you're probably going to get in terms of the Bible. But even so, I would still pick up a copy. Even if you get a copy of the Ethiopian Bible, I would still pick up the Apocrypha, because it's got the Dead Sea Scrolls and whatnot in there as well. But you want to be able to find the most accurate translation you can, because you think about it. We're in the allegedly in the end times, according to most Christian theologies. At which point Satan is pretty much running amok. And what does Satan want? He doesn't want you getting home to God. And the Bible's supposed to be your roadmap back to God, right?
Yeah.
So how would you prevent people from getting home to God? If your objective is to prevent people from getting home to God, you fuck with their roadmap, right?
Yeah.
You would cut off certain aspects of key knowledge that identify who you really are and what you're really capable of, and how to communicate with God, and how to access these great and wonderful things. Most Christian theology sit there and say that miracles ended with the apostles. Why?
Yeah.
Now, again, it goes, I would have to ask, why did miracles suddenly end with the apostles? Why did the Catholics translate the Bible into Latin, and they were the only ones that could read it and had to be the mediator between you and God and his written word? Why were so many things removed from the Bible, including certain passages, passages that are of key importance, or alterations to these passages? And how dare you sit there and say and accuse the Mormons with the whole Revelation said, don't add or take away from this book, when that's exactly what Christian theology did and has been doing since the Council of Nicaea all the way up to present day.
Yeah.
People need to be free thinkers. Okay, I'm not saying don't ascribe to whatever theology. Okay, I don't care if you're non-denominational, Baptist, Protestant, Mormon, Jehovah's Witness, whatever. I would say if you are earnestly seeking God, then you're heading in the right direction, regardless of what denomination or ideology you subscribe to. If you are genuinely pursuing God and a relationship with God in Jesus Christ, you're on the right path. I can't say where you'll stop on that. That is your journey to take, not mine. I will not dictate on that matter. I would say do like I did. Do your homework. Do your research. Learn as much as you can. The scriptures say, for you perish of lack of knowledge. Gain knowledge. Let he who is without wisdom, let him ask of God. People perish for lack of knowledge. Okay? Learn the theologies. Don't take what anybody else says about theology or scripture or interpretation. Read the Bible. Get the most accurate translation you can, which would probably be the Ethiopian. Read and study the scriptures for yourself. Know it through and through. Know God's word through and through. Study the theologies. And don't be biased in what anybody tells you about any given theology or what the Bible means or this or that. Make your own determinations. Let the Holy Spirit guide you. I can't convert you. I'm not even going to try. The only one that can convert you is the Holy Spirit.
You use your discernment.
Yeah. Otherwise, Otherwise, if you listen to other people and you follow other people, you're no better than Solomon following after his wives into idolatry. Okay, because this was a man that talked with God in a dream. But yet, even he still fell. Okay? Don't perish for lack of knowledge. Ask, and you shall receive. Knock, and it shall be opened. Study the scriptures, learn the truth, and don't let people manipulate you in terms of what to believe, how to believe, or whether or not you should support somebody. And on that note, when it comes to Israel, I would say, yeah, go ahead and bless Israel. But it's not, blessing Israel does not mean what you think it does. Okay, the Bible also says, bless your enemies. Bless those that curse you. Does that mean you give endless amounts of money and military resources to your enemies? No. Okay? Understand what it means when it says, bless those who bless you, curse those who curse you, bless Israel, bless those who curse you, so on and so forth. Learn and understand the true meanings of these passages and what they truly mean. Because you can love and support the Jewish people, but still take a stand against those who would do Israel harm, even those within its own government. You can point out the Acans in the 12 tribes of Judah, just like God did in the book of Joshua, chapter 7. Okay? There's nothing wrong with pointing out the Acans who are putting a bullseye on the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay? Nothing against the good God-fearing Jew. God bless and protect and keep the good God-fearing Jew. But there is nothing wrong with standing against evil people, regardless of their nationality, religion, whatever, who would do evil to anyone, especially their own Jewish people.
Not just that, but it's okay to stand up against religious tyrants too.
It is. Jesus Christ did it. It's Jesus Christ, an anti-Semite. He stood against the Pharisees and told them they were full of crap, that they were leading the people down a bad path, that they were caught up in their pride and their arrogance and their greed. Okay, he called them out and they killed him for it. Okay, was Jesus Christ an anti-Semite?
No.
Okay, hell, you want to learn knowledge? Pick up the Talmud. Read that thing.
We're about 2 hours and 5 minutes in, man.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and call it. I'm just getting the last rant in, but yeah, that's pretty much where I would leave it.
Yeah.
Pursue knowledge. Don't take what I say for it. Do or what anybody else says for it. Do your own damn research and let the Spirit tell you what's what. God's not going to lie to you. God's not going to tell you the wrong thing. He knows where you need to be and what you need to know, and He's not going to withhold the truth from you if you genuinely want it. Do your research. Learn your history. Learn your theologies. Learn what the Bible in its complete entirety tells you. Cross-reference it. Cross-reference the writings of the Ethiopian Bible with that of the King James or the Schofield Reference Bible. See the differences. And use your discernment and lean on the Holy Spirit to guide you. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and put the turkey in the oven, ladies and gentlemen. So on that note, and of course, good old Reverend Ordo. Reverend, go ahead and give us a quick plug. Where can people find you, my friend?
You guys can find me on, again, Rumble, YouTube, TikTok, Mastodon, Minds, Gab, Tumblr, Parler, Getter, also on Scoops.
Nice, very nice. And you can also find us on X, YouTube, Rumble. This will be reposted to Rumble shortly. And once we get more subscribers up on that, we'll be able to stream live directly through Rumble and integrate the entire system. So check us out on all those, all at REALTWWRN. Follow us also on YouTube. Hit those like and subscribe buttons to mess up YouTube's algorithm, and hit that notification bell to be notified anytime we go live. And as always, check out the online store. We did kind of a silent plug on that during the broadcast, showed you all the great merchandise. The food groups at the top, that will only be on sale for the low price of $19.99 for one more week. And also, No Kings is coming up next Saturday. Be sure to order your shirts for that. Your anti-No Kings protest shirt that says no strings, no puppet politicians. Get those ordered now in time, and get those in time for the up-and-coming No Kings protest, which we will be covering in Winchester, Tennessee, as always, at 11 a.m. Central Time, so do not miss that. And as always, share the live feeds, share the retransmissions, and if you resonate with what was talked about here, or you have any thoughts or opinions, share them in the comments. Keep the conversation going. We check in on the comment section regularly, and we will respond. We will interact with you. We will talk with you. Same on X and Facebook. We will interact with you. Where most people don't really get into the mix with their audience, we'll shoot the shit with you all day. Why? Because the Worldwide Resistance Network is of the people, by the people, for the people. So, as always, support the broadcast one way or another. And if you are watching this, my brothers and sisters in Christ, you are the resistance. Stay strong. Stay brave. May God bless and protect you. Until next time, if you're watching this, you are the resistance. Peace.